Mandatory property condition reports have been a hot topic since the legislation changed on the 1st of February 2022. The Act now very clearly states that an agent may not accept a mandate to sell a property unless they have a completed and signed mandatory condition report which has been signed by the seller or an authorized representative. Further to this, it states that that property practitioner must ensure that every prospective buyer gets a copy of that signed and completed mandatory condition report. The dangers of not signing and completing a mandatory disclosure report on the seller's side are that you risk not disclosing important factors about the property, and in addition to that, you communicate to a buyer that your property is sold in a perfect condition with no defects disclosed. As a seller, make sure that you disclose all defects regarding your property to any prospective purchaser to involve any costly litigation down the line. There are two types of defects. There are patent defects and latent defects. Patent defects being those that are patently obvious, and latent defects being those that perhaps would not be picked up by a purchaser when viewing a property for the first time, but where the seller will know that there has been a problem in the past or that a problem exists. When it comes to disclosure, honesty really is the best policy. It ensures that there is fairness within the transaction and there are no hiccups along the way. Once you have found a property where you are ready to make an offer, we can get into the paperwork. Most importantly, you need to read the contract. Read it from start to finish and don't be scared to ask questions. Your real estate agent both has a duty to help you and wants to help you through this important process. Be specific about the questions that you ask. Think about when you are wanting to move into your new home and when you are going to be moving out of your previous home. Look at when tenants are going to be vacating. And on top of that, look at what you are wanting to remain in the property and what is going to be taken away. Everything can be noted in a contract in detail, and the more specific, the better. Something most people do not know is that in terms of the Alienation of Land Act, all South African contracts which relate to the movement of property have to be signed in wet ink. A digital signature can invalidate a contract, so be safe. Use black ink and wet ink for the main signature on the last page of your agreement. Initial each page and ensure that any changes to the contract are initialed so that there is no debate about when and if those changes were made. Take careful note of the dates. Date your signature and make sure that everything that you are doing in terms of the contract follows from that date, including when the deposit needs to be paid and the bond needs to be approved by. Lastly, make sure that you have the capacity to sign the contract. If, as an example, you are married, ensure that all signatures are on the contract where necessary. And if you are buying in a company or a trust or any other form of legal entity, make sure that the correct resolutions are in place to allow for you to sign without risk.